What are 3 habits that will make you rich? Easy. Number 1, rich people choose to be paid for their results, not for their time. This is the first thing that I had to learn early on, is that you take all the risk. And when people say risk equals reward, what they mean by that is to go, you're choosing to be paid for a result. And you say that if I achieve this result, it's going to generate some amount of wealth, and I'm going to take a percentage of that, versus just to have the security and the safety to say, I'm going to spend this much time and I'm going to exchange my time for this much money. And it's not an easy choice, but it is simple. And this is why the wealthiest people in the world tend to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs choose to get paid for their results. And it's risky because they pay everyone else first. They pay all their staff. They pay all their team. They have to pay all the expenses. They have to pay, even taxes. They get paid last. They get paid at the very end with whatever is left over. And when you're first starting out, that's not very much. But if you get good at it over the course of time, it adds, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But it takes a lot of courage to choose to be someone who gets paid for their performance rather than for their time. The second thing is that wealthy people spend money to save time. Most people spend time to save money. For most people, they're so desperate to have money that they'll do anything they can to hold on to it. And so if they have to park an hour away to save $10 on parking, they'll do that. If they have to, drive further to get a better deal on gas, they'll do that. But wealthy people don't do that. They are constantly looking for ways to trade money to save time, because they know that time is not money. Time is way more valuable than money. And so they will choose to spend their money in order to get their time back. They'll hire people, they'll buy equipment, they'll build processes, they'll write code. Those are all examples of someone spending money so that they can get more time. And that is one of the habits of rich people. Pretty much every rich person I know is doing that. One of my all-time favorite quotes is from a man named Dan Sullivan. And he says, if you have enough money to solve a problem, then you don't have a problem. That is exactly the mindset of rich people. They use money to solve problems. They use money to get their time back. They use money to multiply and create margin in their life. Third habit of really, really rich people. This one is so simple and it's right in front of all of us, and we miss it so often. Rich people spend money on self-development and education. I am shocked at how the richest people I know are always the ones that are reading the books. They're going to the conferences. They're paying money to be in the masterminds. They're buying the courses. They're in the front row, at some class. They are students. Most people graduate from school and never read another book their entire life. Rich people are reading books every week, right? They get as much coaching as they can because they know that education is one of the things that compresses time. So they spend their money to get education because they spend money to compress time, because that's what rich people do. So self-education is something that's available to all of us. And yet, rather than doing that, many of us are spending time zoning out watching Netflix all day, right? Or we pay more attention to sports scores and memorizing things about our favorite concert or our favorite band, and we don't spend that much time learning the skills that are available to become a better salesperson or a better marketer or a better leader or a better entrepreneur. And that information is more accessible than ever before. And it's funny because the people in your life who are not rich, that will feel weird to them. And they might call you weird for, why are you spending more money on another conference or another book? But rich people will never say that. The rich people are all the people you're going to see there. And if the people who are there, they're either rich because they're there, or they're there because they're rich and they're getting richer, or they're there because they're going to one day be rich and they figured out that there's a smarter way to do things, which is to learn from other people who've been there before. So if you do those 3 things, if you choose to be paid for your results and not for your time, if you choose to spend money to save time rather than choosing to spend your time to save money. And if you invest in your own self-development, you will be rich, I promise.